Hi guys. Hope everybody is doing well. Thank you for watching this. You are watching this. Today I'm gonna offer a little bit of review. So sort of a culmination of all the stuff we've kind of learned coming into our flow, kind of finding our way through those fundamental poses that kind of make up a Vinyasa practice. So nothing too crazy. We will start adding on the next few weeks, diving a little bit deeper into some of the standing postures. But today is something that you can practice anytime. This is a nice, you can kind of take bits and pieces of it and create a daily practice out of this. I know some of you mentioned that, you know, you were looking for something that you can do as a home practice. So these will be just simple things that you can do morning, afternoon, night, whenever you feel like practicing. And I hope that they serve you well. So we're gonna start in a seated position. You will wanna have a block or two with you today or anything comparable to a block. And I'm gonna have one just underneath me, so you're welcome to use a blanket or a cushion instead if you don't have a block. Just use something that you can sit on and maybe even kind of rock onto the front edge of that so that you've got a little bit of a boost under your hips. And what that does is it elevates the hips, it takes some of the pressure out of the hip joint, out of the knees, especially if you tend to be tight through here. And generally at the beginning of our practice, we are a little tight. So give yourself that extra boost. You'll notice a bit of lengthening in your low belly and your low back. You feel a little bit taller, like there's not as much effort to sit up tall when you have something kind of lifting you up. And you're welcome to come into a cross-legged position like I am here, or sit on your heels, whatever's comfy for you. So we're just gonna kind of take a moment to settle in, to connect to the breath. I always recommend doing this if you're on your back, if you're in child's pose. Just take a moment to really ground in, connect to your breath. Your breath is the thread of your practice. It's the thing that tells us what we need. You know, when you're not breathing, or if you've got tightness in your chest, a lot of times that's a signal. It's an indication of how we're doing in a pose, in life, in whatever. So taking your time to kind of check in and set that baseline for yourself. It might be really short. Sometimes it might be the only thing that you do. Sometimes I come to my mat and I breathe for 5-10 minutes and it takes a while to drop in, and some days it's a little easier. So just give yourself permission to be where you are, wherever that is today as you're watching this. And then when you're ready, you can close your eyes if you like, or just find a soft downward gaze. Down at the mat, down at the floor. Do your best to sit up tall, so grounding your sit bones into the surface beneath you. Anchor down, root down, and sit up tall. Feel the crown of your head rising up towards the sky, maybe bringing some space into the belly, into the ribs, into the heart. And as you breathe in, feel yourself growing tall, finding this spaciousness. Allow your body to kind of soften and settle around that hold as you exhale. So the shoulders relax, the elbows rest heavy at your sides, hands can rest in the lap, on the legs, wherever they're most comfortable. Do your best to relax your jaw here and release any tension from your face. Just take a deep breath in and let it out with a sigh. Kind of repeating that gesture a few times. Giving your body a moment to settle in. To release whatever you've been carrying. Take as many of those as you need to. find the breath drops back to a natural rhythm on its own. Beginning to slow down. Beginning to feel into the centered place inside of you. A place of stillness. A place of calm. A place of being rather than doing. Notice how your belly and your chest fill up the next time you breathe in. Doing your best to really gradually expand that inhale. So you're lengthening the inhalation, letting it become longer, more deliberate. And then just as consciously release the breath out, inch by inch, little by little. Feel that emptying. Filling back up, finding your own rhythm with this, in and out, slow and steady. Notice how the breath expands and contracts. Doing your best to stay with the sensations of your breath, to stay with this in and out, and how it feels to be here now. To become more deeply aware and invested in the present moment. Using every breath, every moment as an opportunity to offer yourself whatever it is that you need, moment to moment. This checking in, this self-care. When you're ready, please bring your palms together in front of your heart. Prayer position, also known as Anjali Mudra. Anjali. Return to the heart. Mudra is just a position. It's how we kind of hold our hands usually. It has something to do with the hands. But we're drawing palms together, thumbs coming in towards the sternum. Maybe you can feel that light pressure between your palms. Sitting up nice and tall, so your heart is kind of drawing towards the thumbs as the thumbs draw back toward the heart. Getting nice and broad through your shoulders, through your collarbones, maybe sitting up even just a tiny bit taller. Let's take a full breath in together, feeling up, releasing out. Again, filling up. And letting go. One more time. Gently fluttering your eyes open. Take a moment to refocus your gaze. Notice how you feel. When you're ready, take a big breath in and lift your palms from your heart. Offer them up to the sky, going nice and long through your sides, grounding down into that base deeply. Pause at the top, let the shoulders relax, let the exhale ground you back down into the earth. And breathe in, reach up tall. Keep the length, exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath here, filling up. And then let it go, release the hands. Good, coming forward any way you'd like to get there. We're gonna rock onto hands and knees. So you can slide your blocks or whatever you've got off to the side. You're always welcome to pad out the knees with a blanket and lay it across your mat if that feels helpful to you. So just finding your tabletop position where your knees are in line with your hips and your shoulders and wrists are stacked. So shoulders over wrists. Hopefully you can see my mat here. You want to spread your fingers wide and ground down firmly. So you can kind of feel into your fingertips, into the full base of your palm. And as you press down into the mat, you'll notice the activation of your upper arm muscles, your forearms, everything working, all these little subtleties. So take a deep breath in and start to carve your heart forward. You're going to release your belly down. Sometimes I like to actually bend the elbows back a little bit. It just helps kind of get that space, a little bit more articulation through the upper back. So maybe play with that if you'd like. And as you send your heart forward and lift your gaze, you'll notice the hips and the sit bones follow. So just pause here for a moment. Soften around the exhale. Press down through your palm heels and take an even bigger breath in, really reaching. Finding your length, finding your opening, your full range of motion here and now, wherever that is for you. On your next exhale, get ready to press down through those palms. As you press them out away, feel the navel drawing up and in towards the spine. So you're starting to round the back. Relax your head and your neck. We're going to do the same thing here. So take an extra breath, fill up. Good, as you exhale, maybe you press even deeper. Carve out a little bit more space. Really hug that navel up and in. And then start to make your way in and out. One breath, one movement. Inhaling, heart through the arms, belly releases down. And this is sort of the idea of it, but you'll find what feels good for you. And just start to feel the rhythm, feel the connection of the breath and the movement working together. And as you kind of flow in and out here, you're welcome to just honor what feels good. So it doesn't always have to be so static, this in and out. Maybe you find a little bit of more fluidity as you come in and out, honoring. Like you're waking up, you're just listening to the body. In and out. Couple more rounds. Take your time. Linger if it feels good to linger. Good. Maybe one more breath. After you've finished your next exhale, find a neutral spine. Just inhaling your way back. And then release hips to heels for a moment. Good. We're going to walk the fingertips forward. So keep your hips back and just kind of draw or undulate the chest forward as you walk your fingertips forward. So you're lengthening from the low back all the way up. Doing your best to draw forward. Now you might walk the knees a little bit wider here. That kind of helps. And just let your body relax. right on down. Doesn't matter how deep you go. Maybe your forehead touches the earth, maybe not. If you feel a strain at all to be here, then take a block and prop it underneath your forehead. And just bring the earth to you. So few deep breaths in your child's pose, feeling a sense of lengthening or extension coming through your sides. Maybe sending some breath into the upper back, any areas where you notice a tendency to hold tension. Just give those spaces some permission to release, trusting that in time they will. So deep breaths in and out. Maybe you feel your rib cage expanding as you breathe in. And as you contract on the exhale, a sense of grounding. Maybe some stillness. We'll take one more here. Good. Walking your hands back towards your knees, press through your palms, and gently rise, sitting up onto your heels for a moment. So you're going to bring the knees hip distance, hip width apart, and then rise right up onto your knees. So this is a nice opportunity to pad those out with a blanket. And just come right on up, so your hips are stacked over your knees. Good. So you're going to feel a little activation of the belly here. This is super important. These are muscles that we sort of tend to forget about, and we use them a whole lot during our yoga practice. So we're gonna focus a little bit on the core today. So sometimes what happens is when we're not activating the core, we have this tendency to sort of dump into the low back. If you can kind of. So I'm gonna ask you today to kind of play with the pelvic tilt a little bit. You can even bring your hands to your hip points and just notice how it feels. Kind of rock your hips back and forth. And then almost feel a sense of lengthening the tailbone down. You're not quite tucking your tail underneath you, but there's almost a sense that you are. So just a lengthening down. And as you do that, notice how your pubic bone curls forward and up. Good. Press down into your base and start to press your thighs forward. So you're not leaning, but you're activating the tops of your thighs, those muscles. Good. So as you draw your pubic bone up and in, feel the low belly muscles contract, almost like you're kind of zipping up that line of energy from your lowest rib to your pubic bone. Just play with it if you need to. Take a few breaths. But as you kind of turn on those low belly muscles, feel your base nice and strong. And then as you're ready, begin to unfurl your arms out and up by your ears. Take a deep breath in, press into your base, tops of your feet. Get nice and long as you reach up tall. Feel that belly drawing up and in. So you've got stability in your core. You're not hanging out here, you're zipping up and in. Take a deep breath. Good. Now exhale, we're going to bend the elbows and open the arms wide. So you're making sort of this cactus W shape. You want to spread your fingers wide so your palms are active. And try not to come too far down here. So notice I'm not going lower than shoulder height with the elbows. I'm staying a little bit higher. And as you open wide, you're going to contract the shoulder blades. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, creating a nice stretch across the front of your chest. So we're going to do that a few times together. We'll reach up tall, take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale, peel those elbows out wide, zip up the belly, squeeze. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open, squeeze. Good. One more time, reaching up and out. Good. Now turn your palms face out And release the arms down. See if you can wiggle those shoulder blades together here and interlace your hands behind you. As you reach down to your knuckles, take a deep breath and lift up tall through the front body. Big breath into the chest. Good. Now exhale, hinge at the hip, fold forward. Good. So your hips can draw back to your heels like you're coming into child's pose, and you're just releasing the head down. Maybe it finds the mat, maybe not. Take a moment. Modify if you need to. You can always kind of slacken and just let the hands relax. If that feels good in your shoulders, take another breath. Good, now release. Let the hands drop down by your sides, let the arms go. Maybe rock your hips left and right. Take a deep breath into your belly. Sigh it out through your mouth. Good, tucking chin to chest. Gently unfurl, rising back up to seated. Take the arms up, nice big breath in, grow nice and long. Exhale, come forward, back to hands and knees. Good, shoulders nice and broad, palms shoulder width apart. From here, we're gonna walk the feet back, coming onto the toes. So you're tucking, toes at the back of your mat, walk one foot back, then the other coming into plank, top of a push-up. So same idea here, as you press down through your palms, feel that pubic bone gently drawing forward and up. Press your thighs forward, so there's that activation again, similar. Take a deep breath into your heart. Stay for the exhale. Breathing through sensation, do your best. If you need to come to the knees, come to the knees. Good, one more full in and out. Good, take another breath in. If you're on your knees, come off. Now from the belly, lift up and back, rolling your way into downward facing dog. So you may have to step the feet in a little bit here. As we find down dog, a lot of times we're just kind of focused on making this inverted V shape, which it is. But I'm gonna ask you to kind of come into this step by step. So you're welcome to watch first or listen to my cues. So pressing down into your palms, spread your fingers, root through your hands. Now bend your knees, nice big bend in your knees, like you're pressing your thighs, or your chest toward your thighs. Good, and as you do that, your belly's hugging in a little bit, like you're carving out and lifting navel to spine. Good, now see, kind of as you fold over that hip crease, you want to feel the pelvis tilt back and the sit bones lift high. So you're really stretching out the whole spine from top to bottom. Press through your hands, feel your hips lift up. Then slowly, you'll start to notice the legs come a little straighter as you lift through your hips. And if you're here, you might like to pedal out one heel at a time, stretching out your hamstrings. So as you bend one knee, you drop the opposite heel down, and then just switch side to side. So take another breath in your down dog. Again, breathing through sensation. If at any time you need to rest, come to rest and then come back. Good, now together, we're gonna lower the knees and take a rest in child's pose. So always a good place to come. Take a breath or two, a little reset, recenter. Let something go. Come back to the earth, your support. Come back to yourself, your inner strength. Good. Coming back up. So from here, we're on the knees, and we're going to come through a little bit of a Vinyasa, and then we'll start to weave this together some more. So again, check in with your hands. And then as you come up onto your knees, draw your shoulders forward. So you're coming into more of a diagonal shape. You you might want to play with that a little bit so that it feels good. But you want to send your shoulders over your wrists. So your knees are set back a little bit here. You're not in your tabletop. You want to take your gaze forward. Take a deep breath in. Lift through the belly. Good. On an exhale, you're going to keep drawing that belly in and bend the elbows and gently lower yourself down. So you're coming all the way, right onto the belly. Good. Bring your forehead to the mat. Reach back through your toes. Lift the kneecaps. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Feel those shoulder blades squeeze together. On an inhalation, peel the chest up. Think about keeping the back of the neck long and just find your edge. When you're ready to exhale, lower yourself down. Good. Press into your palms. Lift back up onto the knees and drop back, hips to heels, child's pose. Take a breath. Let something go. Good. Next inhalation, start to rise. Come back onto all fours. So that's one way of coming through your vinyasa. The other way I'm going to offer you is a little different. It requires a little bit more upper body strength, but it also creates more freedom in the shoulders. So a lot of times when we tend to come through these push-up positions, we end up kind of doing this, which can get a little sticky and over time can really impinge the shoulder. So this option might feel a little bit better for those of you who are feeling any pain in the shoulders. So you're going to start the same way, come forward onto hands and knees, take the gaze forward, so you've got this nice long line from the crown all the way down to your tailbone. Lift through the belly, good, take a full breath together. Now exhale, start to bend the elbows just a little bit of the way, maybe halfway, maybe a quarter of the way down. Now track your palm heels back, start to scoop your pubic bone forward. Press through your palms and begin to lift your chest, almost like you're making that cat-cow motion. Now for some of you, this might feel a little yucky in the low back. For some of you, it might feel really good. So you're gonna engage your glutes, take a deep breath, lift up. On the exhale, you're gonna lift your belly up and in and draw back, child's pose as you exhale. So one fluid movement there. You're utilizing the core to lift you up and back, and just take some deep breaths in child's pose. Maybe give your wrists a little roll. Rock your hips side to side. Good, regrounding your palms. Take a breath. Come back up onto all fours. And let's come through one more together, then we'll bring it back to down dog. So rocking hips forward, shoulders forward, breathe in. Exhale, bend and lower. Inhale, track forward and up. Exhale, lift the belly, pull back. Inhale, come up, hips rise, tuck the toes, unfurl, downward facing dog. Keep the length, take a big breath in, open mouth, exhale. Relax your head and your neck. Good. As you press back through your hips, feel your inner thighs kind of spiraling in and back. In and back. Taking some of the weight out of your shoulders. Good. Now step your feet a little bit wider towards the edges of your mat. Wider than hip width. Maybe you can start to drop those heels back even more. As you're ready, begin to walk your hands back towards your feet until hips come to stack over your heels. Don't be afraid to softly bend your knees here. We're gonna let the upper body hang in ragdoll. So you're welcome to catch opposite elbows and just rock it out side to side. Maybe a little nod of the head. Releasing hands back down towards the earth. Press into fingertips. Take a deep breath in, lift halfway up. Good. Exhale, heel, toe. Feet back to hip distance. Walk the hands to the hips. Now press to your feet, soft bend in the knees if it helps, and lift all the way up to stand. Good. Relax your arms, shake it out. And then come on up to the top of your mat, where we'll find our Tadasana mountain pose. So feet are underneath the hips, shoulders over hips, head over heart. Good. Find that kind of center of gravity where you feel evenly rooted between all edges of your feet. And as you root down into the mat, feel that energy rise up into your legs, feel your kneecaps lift. Feel it draw up into your low belly, again, lifting low belly. Tailbone lengthens down. Breathe a sense of softness into your heart, where the shoulders can melt, arms rest at your sides. Growing nice and long through the back of your neck, the crown of your head, press, rooting to rise, tall, strong, at ease. Finding this gentle balance between stability and strength and softness and surrender. One more breath in Tadasana. Beautiful. Inhale, reach your arms up nice and tall. Exhale, bow forward, hinge, bend the knees. Let the head go. And rise, walk fingertips up the shins, press and lengthen the chest forward, crown of the head reaching. Exhale, draw the belly up and in, and slide the hands back down the legs. Press through the feet, take a big breath in, come all the way up to stand. Arms lift at the top, press through the feet, feel your strength. Exhale, hands to prayer, draw it in, feel your center, return to your heart. Again, inhale, arms reach all the way up. Exhale, draw belly in, hinge and fold. So you're drawing on your core strength to lower you down. Inhale, walk it halfway up, find your nice long spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Root to rise, come up. Gradually, gently listen to the body. If you need to take an extra breath or stop there, please do. Hands to prayer, exhale. Good, adding on. Inhale, arms rise. Reach in a way that feels good to you. Exhale, hinge and fold with grace. Beautiful. Halfway up, deep breath in. Exhale. Step the left foot back and drop that left knee down. Press through the front foot. Inhale, unfurl. Chest and arms reach high. Big breath out as you peel elbows wide. Find that W shape. Lift the low belly up and in. So you're curling pubic bone forward. Press through the feet, reach up. Get long through your sides. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Push off the toes. Take a deep breath in and roll forward. Find your push-up. Exhale, lower the knees. Bend the elbows either halfway or all the way down. Track forward and up. Take a big breath in. Exhale, find your way back to child's pose. Good. From there, find downward facing dog. Stay with your own breath. One breath for each movement. From down dog, stay, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. out. Good. Drawing your right leg to the sky. Do your best. If you need to come to the knee and reach it, go for it. Otherwise, heel reaches all the way up as high as you can go. Stay mindful of your edges. On an exhale, bring that knee into the chest. Draw your shoulders forward. Move with it as you step the right foot forward. Sometimes you have to give it a little help. Then release that left knee down and draw all the way back up. I think I just did the same side twice, but that's okay. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Elbows wide. Exhale, lift the low belly. Squeeze shoulder blades. A little bit of surrender. Then press through the feet, reach up. Exhale, hands to the earth. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, step forward. As the feet come together, fold over your legs. Soft knees. Inhale, pick it up from the earth and rise. Reach tall. Hands to prayer, draw it in, exhale. Other side, breath in, arms reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway, inhale, lift. Right foot back to lunge. Drop the knee, feel free to pat it out. Inhale, unfurl, reach tall through your sides, press through the feet, squeeze the inner thighs. Exhale, pubic bone curls up and in, peel those elbows. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, down dog. Good, push off your toes. Take a deep breath in as you roll forward, look forward. Exhale, lower knees, lower chest, elbows brush ribs, squeeze. Inhale, forward and up. Cobra or this modified upward facing dog. Exhale to child's or down. However many breaths it takes to get back to your downward facing dog. So always using those opportunities to modify. Once you find downward dog, take 2 full breaths. This time we're going to lift the left leg. So use your next inhale. Take the whole breath to sweep that left leg up. Spread the toes, lift. Exhale, carve the knee through. Move forward, shoulders over wrists as you step that left foot in and lower the right knee down. Inhale, pick it up. Rise, reach, tall. Exhale, elbows wide. Inhale, reach. Hands to the earth. Tuck back toes, look forward. Step forward, right foot meets the left. And we bow over the legs. Soft knees, inhale, unfurl all the way to standing. Take your time. Exhale, hands to prayer. And just pause here for a moment. Maybe you keep the hands at the heart or release the arms by your sides. Notice how it feels to close the eyes for a moment, to check in with your beating heart. Notice how you feel. Offer yourself some love, some much deserved acknowledgement. Take another breath. Good. Releasing your arms down if they're not already there. Standing tall and soft in your Tadasana. Take a big breath in. Open mouth, let it out. Inhale, arms reach tall. Exhale, hinge and fold, slow and steady. It's not a race. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot back to lunge. This time we're going to keep that knee lifted. So make sure your right knee is over your ankle. You're going to press through that front foot, press strong onto your back foot. So your back heel is lifted. You're kind of on the ball of the foot. You're going to hug the inner thighs together for some stability. And then do your best to lift your chest. Don't worry about the arms just yet. We're going to kind of break down this high lunge. So bring your hands to your waist or your hips and just check in with your feet. If you feel wobbly, take that as an opportunity to widen your stance. So you don't want to be on this tightrope. You want your feet to still be hip width apart. So I'm just going to kind of heel toe my right foot out for some balance. Good. Now we're going to lift up. So you want to press up onto the ball of your back foot, straighten your front leg for a moment. And then notice how it feels to drop that back heel down. Maybe lift it up, stretch out the calf. Sometimes what happens here is when we come into these lunges, we really kind of crunch up the low back. So we're going to find a way to come into this, with kind of keeping some space in the pelvis, in that low back, some integrity, so the whole body's working to support you. So come back up onto the ball of the back foot. You're lifting that heel high. Woo. Now do your best to draw your right knee over your ankle. And then bring your hands back to your hips if they're not still there. And bend your left knee. So you're almost kind of dropping that knee down a little bit. You'll notice how that helps lengthen things out a little bit. So as you've got that knee bent, now you can press back through the left heel. So notice that action. And it really turns on that back thigh. So now you've got both thighs working. Now you can kind of do your best to stack your shoulders over your hips. Maybe the arms come up. Take a deep breath. Reach to your fingertips. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you want to add a little heat here, then we can kind of pick up this pace. Reaching up tall on the inhalation. On the exhale, elbows are going to draw in towards your ribs and you're bending that back knee. Doesn't have to touch the earth. We're just kind of dropping it in a little in. And then 2 more. Inhale, arms up and hold. Take a deep breath. Blow it out. 1 more big breath in. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart and gently drop that left knee all the way down. Woo! Release the toes if you'd like. Let the arms come down by your sides. Give your shoulders a little roll. Bring your right hand to your hip. Sweep that left arm all the way up by your ear. Press down through the front foot. So again, that rooting to rise action. Feel the belly hug in. As you breathe length into this left side body, you're going to start to hinge forward. So try to keep your belly from moving with you. You're going to hinge at that left hip. So your hips are stacked over your back knee as you reach forward. Either bring the left hand down to the mat or see how it feels to cross that elbow in front of the right thigh, elbow to thigh. If you're doing that, then really kind of tuck that elbow. Press the thigh into the elbow as the elbow presses back into the thigh and start to rotate your chest open to the right. Maybe you stack the palms here and press the palms together. Use that to deepen your twist so you're opening the collarbones broad. If you've got the hand on the mat or a block, then same idea. You're going to press down and start to unfurl your right arm to the sky. So either option, take a couple breaths. Feel into those outer edges. Last one. 1 hands are stacked, begin to bring your prayer all the way up to the sky. So you're coming up and out like so. And then hands will come down to the mat. If you've got your hand on your block and your right arm is lifted, just slowly circle that right hand down. So we'll all meet here. Good. Now, if you have two blocks or something similar, bring those underneath your hands. Give yourself a little boost. So your belly is kind of lifting away from your thigh. And then start to walk your hands back. Scooch your right foot forward and lift your toes. So you're flexing your right foot, spreading the toes, waking up the back of the right leg. Good. Now let's bring some awareness into the upper body. So your hips are still stacked. Square. From here, your upper body is lifting away from the thighs. So you want to press to your hands or blocks and just draw your chest upright. Feel the lengthening that happens there as you lift your heart. Maybe you take a few breaths here. If you feel called to move deeper, then keep the length as you start to hinge forward. So you keep the foot flexed and start to bow towards your leg. I like to do this in kind of pulses or breath by breath. So on the inhalation, I back off, get some length. On the exhale, I bow a little deeper. And each time you back out, you move a little deeper. So you're just edging your way in until you feel the fullness of the stretch as your body is capable of today, right here and now. We'll take one more. Try to enjoy whatever it is you're feeling. Find what feels good. And press down to your hands to back out. So you're lifting your chest back up. Good. We're going to rebend this right knee. Plant the sole of your foot down. Release your blocks. Bring your palms to the earth. Tuck those back toes. Lift the knee. Step back. Down dog. And just take a few breaths here. Maybe kind of swivel the hips. Pedal the feet. Honor what feels good. And notice a difference from side to side, right to left. Give your head a little nod, yes, no, if that feels good. Nice, take a deep breath in, lift your hips high. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and walk, feet to hands. Really mindful here, as you come forward to the top of your mat, lift your fingertips to your shins, take a deep breath in. Flat back. Exhale, hinge and fold. Press through the feet. Inhale all the way up or through that flat back first. Exhale, hands to prayer or arms by your sides. Rock it out a little bit, shake it out if you'd like. And then get ready for the other side. Focus your gaze. Take a deep breath into your heart center. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, heart lifts. Right foot back. Come to the ball of the right foot. Make sure you're not on that tightrope. You're on train tracks. And walk your hands in. Squeeze the inner thighs to start to feel a little lift through the belly there. And then unfurl. Take it up slowly. Good. Check in with your feet, your stance. And then hands to hips. Come up high onto the back foot. So you're lifting that back heel nice and high. Yeah, now straighten your left leg. Start to shift forward and bend the left knee. Over the ankle, do your best. Now drop the right knee a little bit. Lengthen the tailbone down. Now press back through the left heel. So you're still on the ball of the foot, but you've got that leg more engaged now. You've got more space in your hips, in your belly, in your back. If it feels good, take those arms up. Breathe in, press strong, and follow the line of energy from your back toes up through the back of your heart, through your fingertips. Allow yourself to soften around the hold as you let some exhales out through your mouth. Gather it all in. Reaching up, we'll find that little kriya where we have these sharp exhale bursts, kind of get the energy moving. So you can do this as quickly as you want or slow as you want. You cannot do it at all. You can keep going. It's up to you. Inhale, reach. Big exhale, elbows in, right knee hovers. 2 more. Arms up and hold. Let it out. Big breath in. Exhale, slowly lower the right knee down. Hands come to the heart. Good. We find your base. Check in. Then left hand to hip. Right arm to the sky. Reach long through the right side body. Breathe into it. Feel it stretch open. And then take that length and hinge forward. Hips aren't moving with you. Hips are staying right where they are. Either hook right elbow to left thigh. Kind of feel into that base. So let's break this down a little bit. If you're here, it still applies. So a lot of times to get this arm forward, we kind of need to send the hips forward. So notice how it feels to keep your left knee over your ankle and press strong through that foot. Now feel your hips pull back a little bit. Press down through both sides. Feel the belly lift. So you're kind of feeling that rotation from the underside of your right rib cage. And as you press elbow and thigh into one another, you can start to work that left shoulder open. Maybe the hands stack and the belly hugs up and in. Nice little twist. Other option is with or without a block to be here. Never want to strain that shoulder. So kind of let the shoulder go where it can, and the arm is just an extension of that. Take another breath or two. Get ready to come out. One more full inhale and exhale. Feel your center ground into your base. Either release the left arm down or bring your prayer hands up to the sky. Realign with center, and then hands find your blocks. We're going to walk it back. Ooh. Scooch that left heel forward if you need to, so that your left hip is in line with your right. Then flex the toes back towards the head. Spread the toes wide, activate the foot. And don't worry about this being perfectly straight. Sometimes a bent knee actually feels even better. So walk your blocks back. Give yourself a little lift here. Get long, lift that chest, open the heart. Take a deep breath in. Then start to come into this at your own pace. Little by little, breath by breath. We're keeping the heart long. Or the back body long, and the heart is leading the way. As always, right? The heart leads. Notice if you're gripping, if you're holding your breath, and let it out. One more. Coming up slowly, use the inhale to back out. Press into your hands or blocks. And then we bend the left knee, plant the foot down. Hands come beside it. And either press back to down dog or take it right to child's pose, your choice. Listen to how you feel, what your body is needing. Give yourself some love. So if you're coming back to down dog, take a couple breaths. If you want to flow through a vinyasa, you're welcome to do that. Lots of options. When you've had enough and you're ready for a rest, come back to child's. And this is where we'll all meet. Rock those hips a little bit side to side. Breathe into your belly. Maybe even stack your palms as a pillow for your head. Let some stuff go. When you're ready to rise, press your palms into the mat and lift yourself up to seated. Okay, then rock off to one side and extend those legs around to the front. So as you're coming through, maybe you miss out some parts of this. Maybe you do a few more Vinyasas, Sun Salutations as they're called. So we're starting to wind it down a little bit here. So you really want to find where your sit bones are evenly rooted. You can kind of lift the fleshiness out of the way. You can also come onto a blanket or a block and give yourself that little boost again. So we're going to extend the right leg forward and walk that left heel in. And gently open that knee out to the side. So you want your sole to meet your inner thigh. And then if being here is a little wonky in the hips, use a block or a pillow and just tuck it underneath for some support. Whatever you need in order to feel evenly rooted in your sit bones and level in your hips. So we're going to start by flexing the right foot, press and reach through the heel, and then do your best to sit up tall again. Broad collarbones, heart is shining forward, belly is lifting up and in. A lot happening. Take a breath, lift your shoulders. Roll them towards your ears and then drop them back and down. Again, inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. As the shoulders relax, feel your neck nice and long, a natural extension of your spine. Sitting up tall. Feel the integrity here. Take a moment to soften around it where you can. And then if it calls to you, begin to hinge forward. So this reach, a lot of times when we go for forward folds, especially seated folds, what happens is we do this. We reach for the foot, and what happens when we do that? The shoulders crawl up towards the ears instead of dropping back and down, where maybe we don't have as much range of motion, as much flexibility. So we're going to come into this by keeping those shoulders down and leading with the heart. So your upper body, you're going to keep that integrity, that length in your spine as you start to use the belly muscles to draw you into the fold that actually feels right for you, without strain, without force. So same idea as our fold a little earlier. We're going to find some length, breathe in, back out. Give yourself some space to breathe into. And then exhale, contract. Use your strength to deepen into the stretch. So instead of going like 0 to 100, you're just kind of going about 60% of the way, maybe even less. And then letting the breath do the rest of the work for you. And you'll find that in time, over time, this creates more opening, more flexibility. It breaks up some of the fascia, the connective tissue. And in time, this flexibility, you're like, oh wow, look at where I am. So it's not about what it looks like. You're honoring more about how it feels, where the breath is still steady. And when that feels complete, we'll come out with an inhale. So use your hands, walk it in, and lift. Take a moment to soften, to relax. And then switch sides, lifting the left knee up, extend it forward, and draw the right foot in. Set up for the other side. Same idea as before. So rather than walking you through this side, I'm going to let it be a little quiet so you can find your own way. Remember to take these opportunities to center and ground. So you've got a firm foundation that you're moving from. You're conscious, you're not rushing to get to that place before your body's ready. So deep breath in. A moment to settle. Keeping that left foot flexed, take your time, inching up and out of the pelvic floor, out of your waist, and gently hinging little by little, one breath at a time. Hands are here as a guide, shoulders are relaxing down. Notice the sound of your breath, almost mimicking an ocean wave. Maybe you close your eyes and breathe into your edge of sensation. Wherever that edge is, it might be different today than yesterday or tomorrow, but here we are, today, right now, breathing, allowing. And take as many breaths as you need here on this side in order for it to feel even and complete. When you're ready to come out, use your hands, use the inhale to lift up. So you're drawing forward and then up. Let that go. Good. So now we're going to draw the left foot in to meet the right. Soles of the feet together. You can butterfly it out a little bit here if you want. You can also play with the distance between your feet and your groin. So if you bring it in closer, you'll feel it more in this inner hip. And if you send it further out, you'll feel it more in your outer hips. So you can adjust that, maybe find middle ground. Bring your hands to your feet or your ankles and just kind of almost imagine that you're drawing your feet open like you're reading a book. So you've got a little bit of resistance. You'll start to feel a stretch coming up through the groin and the inner thigh. Do your best to sit up tall, lead with the heart. Woo, take a big breath. Stay here, or again, begin to hinge forward, little by little. And maybe you come just a little bit of the way this time. Don't worry so much about the fold. Just let your upper body soften and send some breath into that upper back. So this is a really good pose for anxiety. If your energy tends to get really high, this softening of the upper back sends a message to your nervous system to slow down and takes it out of fight or flight. Now if you're here and this stretch is feeling really good, you can kind of keep that lift in the chest, keep that length happening, and then start to move deeper. You'll feel it more in the low back. Nice stretch through those low back muscles. So if you're tight there in the low back, this option might feel really nice. So again, maybe 3 to 5 breaths, maybe more if it's feeling good. Stay with it. Just find that ebb and flow where you're really finding the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. When you're ready to come out, use the inhale to lift up and out. Same way you came in. And release. Good. Use your hands to help the knees up. Heel toe your feet wide. Bring your hands behind your hips and gently drop knees side to side. Should feel nice on those hips. I'm starting to bring it down a bit. So another option here, if you have your block, I do recommend, this is a nice one for those who do have something like this to support them. And you can always stack pillows or something a little firmer generally works a little bit better. So we're gonna come down to the back, have your block within reach, gently roll or rock yourself down. If it feels good to massage out that back body, draw your knees in and just find a little rock from side to side. But let your head relax into the mat, let your shoulders drop down, rocking out the spine and the full back body on the mat. And when you're ready, drop your feet back down so you're keeping your knees bent, soles of your feet flat on the mat, arms by your sides. Take a deep breath here. Empty out completely. Again. Now if you're wiped and you're ready to just chill, maybe this is where you stay. Option to heel toe the feet wide and let the knees come together in this, what is sometimes referred to as hammock pose. So option to be here. If you're feeling like you want a little bit more, then keep your feet hip distance. Have your block handy here. We're gonna press up into a bridge pose. So you wanna feel your feet flat on the mat, really able to root into the ball and the heel of each foot. And then sometimes it's easiest to start with the upper body. So if you imagine that you're kind of tucking your shoulder blades under and getting a little bit of an arch across the front of your chest, you're going to collect your core energy in at your center. So just kind of feel that, if you can, just all that energy hugging in at your center. And then from there, press to your feet, take a deep breath, and lift your hips. If you don't have a block, you can just stay here, arms long by your sides. You can even kind of tuck your shoulder blades underneath and really press those hips towards the ceiling. Or you can take your block. So you're going to thread it underneath your spine, across your back, not up and down, across your low back. And you can play with the height of your block here. So you're going to rest it underneath your sacrum, where your butt meets your back. And you'll find that sweet spot where your sacral base is supported, your hips can rest. Let your arms relax. Maybe you close your eyes and take a few really good, nourishing breaths here. Let the body, mind, and breath slow down. If you're here in bridge without the block, without so much ease, then you're going to lower yourself down just like you came in. So from the top of the spine down, you're lowering vertebra by vertebra all the way down until your hips are the last thing to land. So if you are using the block, maybe stay here for a full minute or two and just enjoy this inversion where your heart is higher than your head. Nice release through the low back and the hip flexors. When you're ready to come out, press back into your feet, lift your hips off the block just enough that you can slide it in, and then same idea. You just lower vertebra by vertebra until your hips are the last thing to land. And then we'll all meet in hammock, walking the heels out towards the edges of your mat, letting your knees drop together. Maybe your hands come to the body, or calling your attention inward. And breathe. Good. Heel toeing those feet back to hip width. Bring your knees into your chest. Extend your arms out wide so you're making a T shape. And you can turn your palms face up or face down. I like face up myself. Maybe a little rock here. So you're going to do your best to hug your knees in close to the body. So you're using your core to do that. And then you're going to rock onto one hip. And maybe you stay there for a couple breaths. Another nice thing to keep the sacrum stable, especially for those who have some tricky SI stuff. Take the block between your thighs, squeeze the block, and then rock. And that'll kind of keep your hips level so one's not thrown out of whack. And again, you might stay here for a little while. Maybe you just take a full breath in and out. And we'll move side to side. So you really want to activate the core to help lift the knees back up to center and gently rock to your other side. Squeeze the block if it's there and let your body come in. So as you're coming up and over, think about keeping the knees at least level with the navel, if not higher. Back body is fixed on the mat, shoulder blades are rooted. And stay as long as you need to. However many breaths feels adequate. When you're ready, bring it all back up and in. Release your feet, release any blocks, any props. Just slide your legs down. And you want to let your legs come a little bit wider than hip distance here. Just let your feet flop so that the weight of each leg is landing into the outer edge of each heel. Maybe you find a nice big stretch. Oh, let it all go. Let the arms rest. Just sweep them down by your sides. Maybe open out wide. Walk those shoulder blades underneath you just a little bit, nothing crazy. Just so that you can feel a very subtle lift through your heart. Feel free to support the back of your neck. If your low back is uncomfortable here, then tuck something underneath your knees for support. And that'll take some of the pressure or curvature out of your lumbar spine. Let's take a deep breath in. And an exhale to let it all go. You may need to do that a few times. Preparing for Shavasana, our final resting pose, where we get to drop into a meditative state. Soak in all that work, and the body comes into a place of rest and restore here. Allow your breath to slow down. Notice the softening of your belly as you relax the breath out. Witnessing the rise and fall with every inhale and exhale. to wash over you as thoughts come and go. Notice if there's any part of you that's still holding on. Give it permission to release, to drop deeply into the support of the earth. Beginning to slowly deepen your breath. Feeling into the space around you. Become aware of your body's most outer edges. Fingers and toes gently wiggle. Honor whatever movement feels good here. Maybe you draw knees into your chest. Maybe you find a nice big stretch. Whatever movement feels natural, take a moment to really soak it in. Eventually, you'll come to roll onto one side, your right or your left. The left side tends to be the more feminine, the right the more masculine. And there's difference between this lunar and solar energy. So at nighttime, you might find that the left side feels a little bit more comforting, soothing. If you're practicing in the morning, maybe that right side kind of wakes you up, energizes, sense of motivation for the day to come. And take a few moments on your side in your fetal position just to rest. Kind of reacclimate yourself with your surroundings, with how you're feeling. A nice time to really offer yourself love. You did it. And when you're ready to rise, use your hands to guide you back up to seated. Nice and easy. We find a comfortable seat. soft downward gaze. Just take a few breaths till you find center. Hands refinding one another, the heart. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, release. Again. Bowing head to heart in deepest gratitude. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much. Take your time easing your way out of your practice. Maybe take a few moments just to savor this space. To move into whatever comes next with a sense of trust, deep trust. Much love. Thank you so much. I will see you again soon, hopefully. Take care.